Lincoln Heights regular council meeting Monday, January the 8th, 2024 at 7:35 p.m. Lincoln Heights Municipal Building. Council chambers is officially called to order. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Council.
Here. Present. Sorry.
That's okay. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Present.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Present.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Present.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Present.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Present.
We have 6 who are present. We do have a quorum.
Prayer by Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody bow their heads, please. Our praises to the Most High. I just want to thank you for another day. Thank you once again for another year, for allowing us for this first meeting to kick the year off in the right way with some good energy, Heavenly Father. Just thank you for those that are able to attend, our residents, and as well, please look over all the residents that we continue to represent, that you give us a great honor to do, Heavenly Father. In your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Acceptance of the agenda.
Move that we accept the agenda. Move that we accept the agenda.
Second.
Been moved and second by Councilman Daniels and Councilwoman Key. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. File of the journal.
Motion that we accept the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes for December 27, 2023, and regular council meeting minutes for December 27, 2023, pending any corrections.
Second.
Madam Chair, if I may.
There's a motion right now, so we need to complete that out.
I second it.
Okay. I think Ms. Baber did. I think I heard her say second before then.
Oh,
I motioned and he
You motioned?
seconded.
yeah.
Thought I heard Key motion that. So we have Baber, moved by Baber and second by Daniels. Roll call for that? Roll call.
Questions?
Question.
Any questions? Well, I was going to questions and then I was, question. Are there any questions? Been no questions? Roll call, please.
Oh, Mr.
We have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. Mr.
Manager.
Lemon, I'm sorry.
Well, I thought you motion seconded. Okay. I needed to point out that on the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes at the last meeting, when we were talking about the police expense trends or protection trends, the minutes indicate that it said we would need to increase millage for police protection by 26.15%. It's actually mills, not percent. That's I think, a fairly important
That's
distinction.
a correction.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Announcements. Oh, I'm sorry. Where am I with this? Yeah. Roll call. Roll call,
Filing of the journal.
yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. That motion does pass.
Announcements. Start on this end with Mr. Daniels.
Yes, just one quick announcement. If there are any young people in the Hamilton County area, specifically our young people here in the village of Lincoln Heights, I'm sorry, my timing is terrible. I'm just trying to pull the flyer back up. 1 second, guys. Sorry, but you can go to Quinn Chapel in Forest Park this Saturday between the time of 12 to 1:30. And going there, once again, you can go within Hamilton County Office of Youth. You can stop by Quinn Chapel. Once again, the time is from 1 to 2:30, 1 p.m. to 2:30 this Saturday, January 13th, 2024. There is paid training opportunities for youths age 14 to 21. Also, hourly wages start at $13 an hour. So, once again, you can go to Quinn Chapel this Saturday between 1 to 2:30 p.m.
Councilwoman Baber,
No announcements, thank you.
Councilwoman Key,
No announcements at this time.
Councilwoman
Mumphrey,
Kenzie Mumphrey,
no announcements for me.
Councilwoman Mitchell.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I do have something here from Hamilton County Commission, President Alicia Reese, and I attended her being elected to another year this morning. State of the County 2024, Tuesday, February the 6th, 5:30 p.m. at Memorial Hall. If you have not been to this, it's very informational, so think about going. And we do need to represent, okay? Now, any questions about this? You have it in front of you. You can,
We just do our
Pass
own
it.
registration, right? We don't need to send like we just click the link and do our own registration. It's not like anything else where we have to, like any paid training or something of that nature, right?
well,
Just
they
simply-
have a email there that, or you can call
Okay.
and say you're coming.
Okay.
And when you say that, please say that you are Councilman
Yes, ma'am.
Daniels from the village of Lincoln Heights.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
that they know where to place you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, elected officials, they put in a different section.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I did speak with her office via email, and it is also open up to the residents.
Yes.
And I am awaiting a response back from him because I was inquiring about folks who don't have an email. Is there a number that the residents can contact? So I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Okay. There's a number on the page if you want to check that out. Okay. All right, put that in your calendar and let's go and represent the village of Lincoln Heights. They have been good to us. All right, moving right along. Anyone else? Announcement?
You have the paint the town.
Where are you?
Paint the town.
That's gonna come from the village manager,
Got
the interim village manager. I have to correct myself. Okay. So we are hearing from the residents. I have two residents out here. Do you have anything that you would like to say?
We're here because we're.
Would you come to the mic and tell us where you, your address and who you are and why you're here?
My name is Alice Croxton, and this is Morris Hodge. We're a combination of real estate developers, and we're interested in some of the village land that you have that's listed on your land bank. Specifically, we like to start off with the houses, and then we would like to inquire about purchasing some of the lots.
Okay, Councilwoman Key, Economic Development. You want to talk about anything?
I'll be happy to set up some time to talk to you. Currently, the council has a moratorium, which we have discussed, and looking for the work of our land use to be completed. And that is very much close to completion through a vote of the Planning Commission, who I know Mr. Hodge is a part of. And so that opportunity will be available to have some discussion. So I'll be happy after council meeting to get your information if you'd like to have a conversation, you know, what the process is, or feel free to meet with Mr. Lemon as well. Mr. Lemon is getting up to speed with where we are, what we're looking at doing, and what we have. And I'm looking for council to be able to set forth a process in which it can be made available to individuals like yourself. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
Break for you.
You did what? You got in the mic. I can't hear you.
I have a break for you.
You have a break for me.
Break. Yeah.
Okay.
A break.
For me.
High school.
From the high school.
Okay.
Stonecrafters got it. I got about a dozen of them. I cleaned them, and I'm having it engraved.
Nice.
I feel blessed, and our mother would feel the same way.
That's why I
Yeah,
have one for you.
yeah.
Thank you.
You the man, Mr. Hodge.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
Mr. Hodge is
Mr.
the
Hodge.
man.
That's great.
And, okay.
Hmm.
Dang, I have tears in my eyes. I
Yeah.
forgot where we are. Regular agenda. Communications. Communications to council.
Good stuff.
Clerk of Council, Lisa Randolph.
Madam Chair, I don't have any communications. The one I was going to speak have been spoken about already.
Thank you. Me too. That goes for number 2, the communication from Vice Mayor. But I do have something to say to the public, and because you can turn on this and see it, is that I feel very blessed that I am here and that you have chosen for me to do this job. I only ask from council that we love upon each other and help each other as we go through 2024 and 2025. It's my last 2 years, and I wanted to be a blessing to our community. And if we work together, then we can see how far we can build Lincoln Heights, you know. So love all y'all and have a blessed and wonderful 2024. Communications from the interim village manager, Michael Lemon.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. There are several things I'd like to talk about. The first being the
Yes,
grants
I know.
that we have. The first is the mini grant, the Hamilton County mini grant. It's due January 15th. I'm working with Mr. Williams to get quotes and timeframes for the submission of an action plan and budget, and this is for Serenity Park, and so I don't anticipate any issues with that. The second grant is the CDAP grant, which is for a number of streets, including Jackson, Adams, Cary, and McGee, I believe. It's due on January 19th, and I've engaged CT Engineering to help develop the application for submission. This is a CDBG grant request of $300,000. So I don't anticipate an issue with getting that submission in either. And I believe we'll find out the results either in April or May of this year. I'd also like to announce the village has been approached by the Paint the Town Committee, and they plan to come into Lincoln Heights and paint homes for free. I believe it's up to 15 homes. In order to be eligible for that, you have to fill out an application. We have posted that on our website and Facebook, so it's available currently. We will also be putting copies, hard copies of the applications at the front desk here at the Municipal Hall. I've asked Mr. Williams to help identify some of the properties that might benefit the most from this and make sure that we get applications into the owner's hands. These have to be submitted by February 15th, and then the plan is to have painting preparation done on June 7th and the actual painting done on June the 8th of this year. My hope with this, since it's a beautification effort, is also to tie it into cleaning up inoperable and junk vehicles through the village. I think it'd be a nice combination to do that.
I agree.
Regarding the Finance Committee, I'd like to request that the committee review our current levy structure and any plans for 2024, particularly the elections. I'd like to explore options for improving revenue and reducing expenses. And then I've also asked Mr. Key, our finance director, to join Star Ohio Investment. They currently are paying 5.56% interest, overnight interest. The annualized interest is 5.7%. If we maintain an average of $500,000 balance in the Star Ohio account, that would earn us $28,500 in interest. And I've observed that over the past several years, our interest earnings have virtually been nil. So I've urged Mr. Key to join Star Ohio as quickly as possible. I know he's burdened currently with trying to close 2023, get 2024 established, get the W-2s out, and a lot of other things. He's a very busy man right now. Yeah. But I think this is important to us in terms of earning that interest. So I'm encouraging him to do that as soon as possible. Regarding economic development, I'd like to request that the committee meet and as soon as possible, and I'd like to recommend establishment of a CRA if the committee sees fit. The CRA is a community reinvestment area. I think that it's really important that we do this, and as a result, if we do move forward, we need to establish criteria for that program, meaning what's the minimum investment, how quickly must it be completed, what permits are required, et cetera. And so we'll need to develop that criteria in order to move this program forward. I'd like to work with ROK on a publicity and marketing push once we establish this. And join the Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky African American Chamber of Commerce to assist us in getting the word out. And then also Alloy Development that does much of the same work. And then utilize social media and newspapers to make sure that, that the community, the Greater Cincinnati community knows that we're doing this. Because I think there's a lot of good potential from this. And then I'd also like to try to work toward establishment of a tax increment financing program or possibly district. I think that would be right in line with establishing CRA, because if our intent is to get economic development into this community and to increase property values and reduce expense, I think it's important that we make these moves as quickly as possible. If we do this, I'd encourage us to end the moratorium on the village-owned property once the land use plan is adopted, and we could potentially use the village-owned property as an incentive to bring those projects in, the CRA projects in, and help improve the property values and bring residents back to the community rather than exiting the community. And then that could improve our property values and income, and would also hopefully bring wage earners as well that would help increase our coffers as well. So there's a lot of good things associated with this, and I'd really like to encourage the Economic Development Committee and Council to move forward with these items as quickly as possible. For the Law Committee, I sent a copy of Columbia Township Property Maintenance Code back on December the 5th, because I know how important property maintenance is to this community. And I had great success in Columbia Township with this. And I'd like to pursue a similar program, if it's acceptable to council, to replace the International Property Code, because that is more of a generic program where the one I've developed is very specific, and you can target specific maintenance issues that we concern ourselves about. And so I'd like to get, some kind of feedback as to, whether you wish to move forward with this or, redevelop the one that I developed to comply with what we're trying to accomplish in Lincoln Heights. So I encourage that as well. And then on the Committee of the Whole, I'm working on arranging a presentation with Kleinger's and MSP, Miguel Smith Punchin, for an update presentation on Memorial Field. And I know Kleinger's has already agreed to do that. I've not heard from MSP yet, but I'm sure they'll be happy to do that. So we'll have, I don't know if you want to do that at a Committee of the Whole meeting or set up a special meeting and presentation for council, but I want to get that going because, again, I've been up to Memorial Field several times, and I just think it's a shame that that field is sitting there unused, unavailable to the residents of Lincoln Heights, and I'd like to see it get moving again. And then, of course, remember on the 22nd, SORTA will be here to make their presentation as well. So there's a lot going on. I am very excited about it, and I just can't wait to dig into these things and bring the value that I know they'll bring to Lincoln Heights. So I really hope that you'll cooperate and help us move this forward. So thank you very much.
We need you to help us also, and that is to give us a list of everything that you said so that we can gain knowledge from it and move it forward. We're here to work together.
I
and
totally
it
agree.
It's going to be
and
an exciting year.
Madam Vice Mayor,
Yes.
can I ask a quick question, Mr. Lim?
Yes.
So when it just comes to the property maintenance, and it sounds like the one that you developed, did you have any necessarily pushback? May not be the right word, but excuse me if I'm wrong, Mr. Desai. When we changed and went over to the international property maintenance, that was requested by by the Woodlawn Fire at the time, correct? Because they were specifically kind of taking care of our code enforcement. Did you see any type of pushback when you kind of developed your own at all from your code enforcers or anything of that nature?
No, they were very supportive.
Okay, so no, okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
But I think you're right. I think it'd be good to run it by the Woodlawn Fire Department. But this is, exterior property maintenance. It doesn't include interior.
Okay, another question? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor. Mr. Daniels, I may be incorrect, but my memory tells me we never did adopt the International Property Maintenance Code. So we are still operating off of essentially Chapter 93 of our prior code. So I don't know if anyone else's memory is different than mine. I remember there was discussion. I think you're accurate. The code enforcer from Woodlawn, I forget her name.
Kate Tillmeyer, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she had perhaps left the position prior to that moving forward. I also, and I'm going from memory again, I believe Woodlawn had terminated the code enforcement piece of their contract. So if I remember correctly, we did an addendum or something like that. So we're still in-house on code enforcement. We do not have that contracted out. So I just wanted to mention that. And if you don't mind, I just have a couple other questions. Mr. Lemon, Star One, is that a bank financial institution?
No, it's a state institution.
Okay.
It's under the Treasurer of Ohio.
Okay.
It's called Star Ohio.
Star Ohio. I mean, I think everybody's in favor of making as much money on our account as possible. I'm just wondering, do I need to draft legislation to allow funds to move from First Financial to Star One?
No, Star Ohio.
I'm sorry, Star Ohio. My apologies.
And we may have something because we used to be in Star Ohio.
Yes, we would need authorization to join Star Ohio.
Okay. Let me do this. you know, I have like the Word documents, you know, that I have access to. Let me see if I pull anything up for Star, Ohio, and then I'll report back. And if we need to get something together for that, I'll have it together for the next meeting.
Yes. Star, Ohio has been around for quite some time, and I know that last year in Columbia Township, they earned $150,000 in interest from Star, Ohio.
That's
Over
excellent.
what period of time?
1 year.
1 year. Okay.
Madam Vice?
I'm sorry. I just want to go through my list to make sure, and so I just want to make sure we got the legislation and what I need to do. We can talk about the community redevelopment area as we get closer to that. And then we can talk about tax increment financing as we get closer to that. I think you also mentioned maybe doing a JED, a Joint Economic Development District.
I did not mention that, but I understand that there is an agreement between Evendale and Lincoln Heights about a JED. And I understand that had to go before the state legislature because the code did not foresee two municipalities joining to do a JED, because typically it's an incorporated area and an unincorporated area that form a JED. But someone told me earlier today that they thought that had been passed by the legislature, but I'm not aware of it. But if you happen to know,
I'll take a look. You're right. I know, like, when I was at Sycamore Township, we did one with Deer Park, and that was the first JED that they did in Sycamore Township when they went from the JEDs to the JED.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'll look and see.
So, Madam Chair, may I speak?
Yes.
So, Mr. Lemon, the Senator Blessing, it started there, and then they sent it to the House. So I haven't received an update on the final vote, but we can find out.
do you know the House, the bill number on it?
Let me see, I don't want to get it wrong. Could be-
Senate bill,
Okay.
when it was in the last legislature?
78,
Yes.
Or
I thought it was 75.
75.
Did they give
Senate
the bill
Bill
number?
75?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we find out what
Well,
it
we can
really
find
is,
out, and that
and
way I
then
can
he
get-
could,
I
you
can,
know,
It was
he'll have
70.
that
That sounds
information.
right, though.
Thank you.
And then the final thing, just for procedural clarity, Mr. Lemon mentioned the mini grant is due on January 15th of this year. The CDAP grant is due on January 19th. We do not have a meeting before those deadlines. Can we have motions to authorize the manager to apply for those grants?
Are those not the ones, I'm sorry, Madam Chair?
Are those new grants or old grants?
They're all
They have
right.
been applied for.
They've
If
been
you,
applied for.
if you recall in the CDAP, we did a pre-application,
Oh, gotcha, okay.
and this is to submit the full application.
Gotcha, okay, so we should already have authorization then on that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, that's all.
Okay.
Madam Vice, thank you. My question was, while we're doing the research on Star, Ohio, I think I heard Councilwoman Mitchell say we used to be in that. Can we find out why we got out? What was the reason?
We used the money for something I don't remember, but we used to be in Star, Ohio. I think that it may be something in the charter that says that somewhere that we could go into that investment. So there is legislation on the books that we'll talk about.
Okay, I just wanted to get all the information,
Yeah,
so
I
when
mean,
we're
we
making
just-
that decision, we know if we were in there before, why did we get out? Was there benefit? Sounds like it's a great benefit now, but I just like to know
Yes.
all the information about the history of it. Thank you.
Yeah, we had to use the
Good
money.
question, good information. Thank you. I'm learning as I'm sitting here. Okay. So, Mr. Lemon,
Oh, excuse me, Miss, I had a question. Oh,
go.
so on the International Maintenance Code, I thought we accepted part of it. We didn't do any of it. We were saying, I remember we had the conversation that we couldn't do,
dollars.
didn't do one, we couldn't, it was too difficult to, I guess, have all of it, but that we would take parts of it
Yeah.
out and incorporate it in what we were currently using, which was the Hamilton County Building Code. So I think we just probably need to do a little research on that. pretty
Okay.
sure that we had so much discussion about, well, what pieces of it can we use if we don't adopt the entire piece?
Yeah,
Okay, so we need that discussion at our next committee of the whole, council of the whole.
I'll go through
Bring
my law
information
meetings. I'll just say I'll go through my law minutes
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
I
kind
would
of just
say-
like, so we have them
yeah.
all digitized, so I can kind of just kind of,
Agenda.
but I'm, it's been I think it was like 2-3 years ago, so I'll just kind of,
Yeah.
go back through and check.
Okay, so we know who's gonna do that actual research and,
Yeah, I'll check from a law
And
committee,
jump
I'll check
in,
from a law
please do
committee
so.
standpoint.
okay, great. Mr. Lemon, I think I asked you this question. Now, we talked about updating the public, what is it, record, policy. You did not talk about that, or at least I didn't hear it.
Yes, I have requested Ms. Randolph to start a process because I know the auditors, the state auditors will come in and ask for it on occasion, a log of all public record requests that are made of the community. And so I provided a template to Ms. Randolph of the type of information that is typically utilized to maintain a log for those complaints. And normally, when the auditors come in, if you show them the log, they're content and happy with that without having to go through each and every file or anything like that. So it's something that I think is beneficial to us, and we've been cited the last 2 audits for not having our public record policy displayed.
Okay,
And I happened to mention and sent around a proposed public record policy because the one that was adopted was a general template that the state sent out about 10 years ago or some time frame ago. And it was just something to start to build from. And I believe Mr. Holbert presented you just the model that was sent out. And I think it's inadequate for today. And so I've got a very good public record policy that I think all we probably need to do is just change the location to Lincoln Heights.
okay,
And I think it will serve, I know it meets the auditor's requirements by far, and it was developed in conjunction with Dinsmore Law Firm. So I know that they ran it through their department and validated that it met all the requirements of the state.
so can we put that on the agenda for our next meeting
I'd love to.
in 2 weeks? Okay.
That's good stuff.
All right, so where we are with this is that we need to deal with paint the town, okay? And that means that we need to, in addition to what the staff here going around, we may know someone and recommend them. Everyone does not do technology, so therefore, if they need to fill out their application, we can bring them here, and someone can help them with that. And that someone, which I'm gonna put some pressure on, would be our clerk of council, who does such a great job, and probably your office too. Where they can come in and complete it. It has to be done by February the 15th,
They must be submitted by February 15th.
so we can take care of our citizens out here. We have a lot of seniors out here that need help. We also have our citizens visiting us, our residents visiting us tonight, and they can also help. So if, Mr. Morris, and if you know of someone who can need the house painted, we have the application that's criteria. If there's an application somewhere, you can actually take it with you so you know what we're looking for. They're gonna do about 15 houses out here. 15 houses, so we don't want to turn that away. Okay, so I want everyone looking for a house to be done, and so that they meet the qualifications. Again, if they don't have technology at home, we're willing to bring them here, and they can fill it out here with help. All right, so that's where we are. Council, what do you think about that? Anyone?
think it's a
Great.
great
I appreciate you
idea.
getting the service department too to get involved with that too, Mr. Lemon. But no, it's great.
Okay, anyone else? Our solicitor?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So the next item on our agenda under 8A4 is communication from solicitor regarding the selecting somebody to fill the vacant council seat. So Section 2.10 of our charter states, council vacancies shall be filled within 60 days by a vote of a majority of the remaining council members. If council fails to fill such vacancy within 60 days, the mayor shall fill it by appointment. Such person so chosen by council or the mayor shall serve it until January 1st, following the next regular municipal council election. So let's break that down a little bit. It's 60 days, so that runs from January 1st, because that's when the vacancy occurred, January 1st of this year. So roughly speaking, until early March, council is charged with filling that. The person is selected is not going to serve a 4-year term. They're going to serve a 2-year term, because it says that they shall serve until January 1st following the next regular municipal council election. So the next election is going to be November 2025. So they will serve the remainder of 24 and the remainder of 25. So you're making a selection for basically a 2-year appointment. After that, they will have to run if they choose to do so. At our January 1st organizational meeting, we had talked about putting together some type of process, and we'd said we'd talk about it tonight. So what council needs to do tonight is decide how it wants to get the word out that there is a vacancy, how they want the interested individuals to express their interest, preferably in writing. Does it want to do any type of interviewing? And then when does council want to actually sit down and formally vote on it? So one example would be this. Council could, starting tomorrow, choose the medium or mediums by which it's going to get out the word. For example, robocall, posting it on the village's Facebook page, posting it on the village's website, posting it in the 5 conspicuous places, and any other means by which council thinks it would be good to get that word out. What's the process? For somebody who's interested, do they call in and say, I'm interested? Do they send an email? Is there an application? But how do they express their interest so that everybody is aware that John Doe or Jane Doe is interested in being considered for the vacancy? So that's item number 2. And I would suggest that, we at least have some type of written, for lack of a better word, application or request to serve on council, so that we know who the person is, what the basic information, what their residency is, what their phone number is, if they have an email address, an email. I think you need to set a deadline for council taking in applications. So that's going to depend to some extent on what council wants to do with those applications. Do you want to interview the people that submit interest in the vacancy? Presuming you do, well, when do you want to make the selection? Currently, we've deferred Resolution 2024-R-2, which is the mayor resolution, to a 8:30 p.m. time on January 22nd, following our next regular meeting. So does council want to select somebody at its regular meeting on January 22nd? And just for purposes of example, if you do and you want to interview, well, then you probably want to consider a cutoff date of Wednesday, January 17th, so that you would have Thursday the 18th, Friday the 19th, and maybe even Saturday the 20th to do whatever interviews or screening process you have in mind. That would then allow council to come on the 22nd to its regular meeting, and motions can be made to select John Doe, Jane Doe, whoever, to fill that vacancy. And it is a majority of the remaining members, so we will need 4 of the 6 members to agree on one person. Couple caveats that I think residents need to be aware of. If you are in violation of our laws, probably not a good idea to apply, because we're going to bring that to council's attention. One example of that would be if you're delinquent on taxes, if you are not current on your tax filings, if you're operating a business without a business license. Those are the type of things that people who are interested should note. Not good form to have a council member who is in violation of the village's laws. So I know that's a lot to take in, and I'll just kind of recap. I think council needs to decide on a date when it wants to start getting the word out, needs to decide on mediums by which the word is going to be gotten out. It needs to decide on how the person expresses their interest, and it needs to set a deadline by which people are interested in applying, by which they need to apply. It needs to decide if it wants to do some type of interviews or screening of those members, and then it needs to decide if it wants to move forward with trying to select such a person on January 22nd. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Do you want all of that to happen tonight?
It's council's pleasure. Just be aware of the deadline. We've got 60 days, and at that point, the period for council to make that decision ends.
Councilman Daniels?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was saying that's 5 more meetings. Ms. Laverne had her hand up. I was just saying we want to have 5 more meetings. I'm sorry.
Now I understand why you have to look both ways. Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yes.
Yeah, you learn.
Yeah, I'm learning because I used to sit right there.
We weren't
so I'm looking
ignoring
that way.
you.
Now I look this way. Councilwoman Mitchell?
Yes, I have a couple. I like the interview. I mean, we have always done it through the application process and then the interview. I mean, I think that's important. I guess the thing that we need to look at is the 1 year
Proof of
residency,
Yep.
and how do they prove that 1 year residency, that they've been here 1 year, and when they apply, what do we have to do to have Ms. Peterson check the tax status? So I think we need to take that into account, how long that's going to take to do. And so look at our deadline, and somewhere maybe on the application state that interviews will be held on so people understand. I mean, so there are some other things we need to consider. But I'm for the application as always, and the interview.
Just get the word, and then get the word out immediately and through all mediums. So we say that same with our social media, door to door, but getting the word out to all the residents so they have this opportunity to cast that net as wide as possible.
Okay, so we're going to use everything that he said about getting the message out in addition to word of mouth.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay, and you remember what they are?
With the medium, so you have our 5 set locations that we all know is like the Oak Park, and then you have our social media apparatus. You have our website, and then we don't have enough time for mailers, but definitely through our
Robocall.
in our robocall. We could, I guess, technically, without be too much paper. If we're already out, I was gonna say we could probably do some little quick door to door piece, but then we just get our 5 set locations, our robocall, social media, and then our website.
Okay, can we talk about
What's-
start date?
I say tomorrow.
What
Tomorrow
is the day
morning?
we're gonna start
Yeah.
this, tomorrow or the next day? Which one? We have to give time to get this together.
I didn't bring it with me.
I think we could, tomorrow.
What is it? You got a conversation over
I
here?
was asking her to see her phone so we can look at the calendar.
Okay,
Tomorrow's the 9th.
Madam Vice,
yes.
we can start the process tomorrow. Doesn't necessarily mean that everything has to be done by tomorrow. So give at least a week that everything is at least done. All the communication is out. All the robocalls is out. I think it's important that we I kind of see that we kind of kicked it off on January 1 when we had our meeting, because we talked about the fact that we had a vacant seat. So in theory, you know, the word is out there. Now that we have a process in place, now they know how to apply, should they want to apply. My question is the interview process.
What?
Maybe,
Let-
I'm sorry?
Can you hold for a minute?
Sure.
Let's stop right there. Give me a date. I know we talked about it on the 1st, but we are looking at the process now, 60 days from January the 1st. Okay, would it be okay to go back to January the 1st?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
They
should
can
we
figure
start
out.
tomorrow?
Yeah, I think what Ms. Key is saying is accurate. We could start tomorrow, regardless of what council decides is the final deadline. And I think Ms. Key is right. I mean, to some extent, it was started because there was public comment made about there being a vacancy.
So the start date is Tuesday, January the 8th.
Ninth.
January the
Ninth.
9th, I'm sorry.
So we
phone
need to
went
get a
off.
robocall,
Okay,
start with the robocall. I'd like to suggest that we also have the flyers that you can put in our complexes, like Centennial, Mariana Terrace.
As far as the location.
We have a board down there in Village of the Valley where you can put something up to say that we have this opening and that the applications can be obtained here. You know, so those places like that.
you can get them here online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And we it should be much to do
So,
with digital application.
Madam Chair, so also,
yes, I'm sorry.
so also, when we do the applications, make sure we attach those qualifications, because we don't want people to just fill them out, and then they fill them out and they don't know about the qualifications. So it should
Okay.
be, I can attach it to it.
I thought at one time this was a front and back thing. Yeah, so we might want to print them out that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good idea to put the
Okay,
qualifications
so
on
we
the
have the
back.
start date as Tuesday, January the 9th. Councilwoman Key, you started to say something else, and I jumped in, only because I need the date.
No, that's okay. Thank you, Vice. I was inquiring about the interview process. I think that is the, potentially can be the longest part of the process, should we get a lot of applicants. I don't know either way, which way we'll get it, but when will we set the date and set that process? And is it just kind of like a, you know, I'm thinking about this position, it's a political position, and usually for the council members who run for the elected seat, for the residents, there's not really a quote-unquote interview process. So I'm just trying to understand how are we going to maneuver that process for the seat, for a vacant seat. And maybe that's something we can discuss later, to talk about later, or Mr. Desai, if you have some suggestions, like suggested questions that we would ask, because we want to make it fair and equitable, I would assume, just like we would an employee. So if we already have something that was done previously, like is there a standard template of, these are the questions that you would ask to fill that seat?
I don't have a standard template, but I would always be mindful of the Open Meetings Act, that if we're going to have 4 or more council members at one time, interviewing, screening, whatever you want to call it, it needs to be in an open meeting.
Okay.
So, and honestly, I'm happy to develop something if council wants, but, you know, my role as legal counsel, I don't want to put questions down that may reflect things that I would want, because I'm not a council member. And ultimately, it's, you know, council's decision. So my main thing would just simply be make sure that if we're going to do this with all council members or 4 or more present, it'll have to be in an open meeting. It will not be able to be done, you know, in chamber, so to speak.
I was just thinking maybe you had, like, if we had done this process before, that you had already something drafted up. That's what I was looking. If not, that's fine.
So we have a start date. When is the last day to turn the application in? What date?
Mr. Desai suggested the 17th.
17th.
The 17th?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that,
and that was just as an example, because we
Right.
currently have R4 ready to come back on the 22nd at 8:30. Now, R4 can be pushed again, but if we are in fact going to have that 8:30 meeting on the 22nd to discuss R4, it's not going to go anywhere if we don't have a seventh council member. So that's why I suggested the 17th, because that would leave Thursday the 18th and Friday the 19th for interviewing.
So maybe we may have to push that to the 16th, because you're gonna have to call a special council meeting in order to do the interviews.
Prefer
Right.
the 16th.
So if you push it to the 16th, and then you get them in, and then you start saying, okay, so on the 18th, give Ms. D a time to do whatever she needs to do to check status, residency, and tax status, and then you have the meeting on the 18th, you know. And then I think if you're gonna put that out there, when we put the deadline, we would need to say at that time that there will be the interviews on da-da-da-da date. So we didn't have to try to call nobody after we get them, so.
So the application due date is Tuesday, January 16th.
That's my suggestion.
Okay. End of day or just beginning? It doesn't matter, just 16?
Right, so if we
End
get
of
the stuff
business.
out right away, people will have at least, what?
Set your interview
4
date
days?
then. I'm just trying to get things in order here.
I'm good with the
Your
18th.
interview dates will come what?
Thursday the 18th.
Yeah, I'm good with the 18th.
Thursday the 18th.
My only question that we're still on the interview date is, let's say, for instance, Lord, you know, in a perfect world, that's not a perfect world, I shouldn't even throw that out there. Let's say 30 people are qualified for the position. Then we would still be doing the whittling down piece and everything else, right? There's like, you feel what I'm saying? There's no way to go through the stack and then give us like a stack of like 5 best candidates like we did with the village manager. So like if we could, so like we would just have to go through all 30, correct? And then just kind of
Right.
whittle out. Okay. I was just,
I mean, that just, Linda.
we
you
don't
agree
have
with
to,
that?
but-
I'm just saying, that had been the process before that we, you know, they get
make
the
it-
applications, we get them in, we check them
They
for,
could, yeah.
and then they come in.
Yeah.
We give them times in which to come in and interview, you know.
So like even with that then, so like just once again, because it may be one person, it may be 20 people, but so if that's the
That's
case,
right.
then do we need to establish how much time they have on this microphone then?
Yes.
Well, but you're interviewing them, we've interviewed them one at a time, right? I mean, everybody's not in the room and they,
I'm just trying to go back to when I think the last time we did was Councilman McKee, correct? Your first time.
Yeah, I
last
didn't, I didn't go through all this.
Yeah, yeah,
that
but
we're
I feel like
talking about.
but I feel like we kind of
because
talked
if
to you
you
for a
only got
second
one
though, right?
person applying,
Yeah, because I feel like you came here and then before then we was like, oh, welcome, Councilman. And then you came back and said, yeah.
She was the only one that applied, what you gonna do?
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I was saying, like, because that's what
Right.
made it easy.
So
But that's what I'm saying. That's
in
what made
the
it easy.
past, Councilman Daniels, we've had, that I can remember at the most, maybe 3
Okay.
people that have applied, right? And you
Yeah.
give them each time, then I think we usually do
Okay,
about
so-
30 minutes.
Should we set more than one date?
It's tentative, I guess.
I would say it probably depend on how many applications
Applications.
you get. That would make,
Well,
set
I'm
the
only
date.
asking because we're setting up this thing now. So if you have more than one date, it is etched.
And then we can always, if we don't need it, we can
Yeah, we
always
don't
pull
need
it.
it, we don't use it, but you need to
Yeah.
be able to,
Yeah, because they may not
if
be
you
able
have
to
30
come.
people coming through the door,
Yeah.
15,
Mhm.
Yeah.
5,
So-
5, and
Yeah,
5.
something like
So
that.
maybe do that.
Remember the 60 days.
All right, so
Okay.
I guess people need to check their calendars, what we're doing on the 19th. You wanna do it on a Friday, you wanna do it on a Saturday?
He said Friday, Saturday,
You got,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
right, so,
Are we gonna put down, and what time? That'll take care of that too. So we're gonna use Thursday, the 18th, Friday, the 19th, and we don't need them, it's okay. And do we need Saturday, or just 2 days?
I think
I'll
just
be
2
unavailable
days.
Saturday.
Yeah, I think just 2 days too.
2 days
days
is
is
enough?
good for me, yeah.
Okay.
okay, what are you saying? What did you say, Ms. Key? I didn't hear.
I just said I'll be unavailable
Oh.
Saturday, but 2 days I think should be good enough for.
Okay, so Thursday the 18th and Friday the 19th, for interviews. Time,
What's the earliest is someone, providing that, you know,
what time?
we have a lot of
5:30.
people.
Suggest a
really.
time.
5:30.
5:30 first interview, and are we doing every half an hour with
Yeah, with
Yeah.
with
5
maybe,
minutes in between or 10
yeah,
minutes in
at
between?
least 10, I'm gonna say at least 10, in
So-
between,
In
So we're
between.
doing 30 minutes per person.
yeah. That's basically
And
how
these-
we did it.
And these are all public.
Candidate.
And these are all public meetings, correct? Like, so for each, so it'd be like
Yeah.
one, okay. Only reason I was asking was
From
between the
what
10
I'm
minutes
hearing, it
pieces.
sounds like it's going to be a special meeting
Yeah.
on the 18th and the 19th.
Right.
So we're going to notice it like we would a special meeting, and then we're going to, have everybody around the dais here. I am curious, though, because Mr. Lemon has probably had some experience with
Oh,
this,
I'm
just
sorry.
what his thoughts might be.
I think what you've discussed is appropriate, but I do have the question of who's going to be the custodian of the applications
Yeah.
and who's going to be responsible for assuring compliance with the requirements for the position? And then, how do you want those presented to you, the ones that qualify?
Well,
Who's gonna receive the applications?
I would say the clerk,
The clerk.
and that should be on the application. That's who you return it to, right? Because all this is legislative.
It's a council matter.
And so the clerk does that, and she holds them, and then we pass the names or whatever to Ms. D to check for the status and residency, and leave it to the clerk of council to set up the interviews as well. I mean, that's just how we've done it in the past, and it's always worked. pretty
Sounds
well.
good.
Madam Chair, so I have a question for
Yes.
Mr. Lemon. So, Mr. Lemon,
Yes, ma'am.
would you prefer the pass-through?
It's the will of council. I'm happy to do it. I did receive an application today. I've already run it past Ms. Peterson. Unfortunately, the person that applied does not qualify under current requirements. We'll have to notify that individual, I assume, but I don't know if you want to notify them at a later date or immediately upon having processed them.
So, question, if the person does not qualify, who sends the letter to them since we have designated the clerk of council to receive them?
Right. When you
You
go.
gotta, yeah,
When you go to the Board of Elections, right, and you don't get all your petitions in, or something goes wrong with them, then usually it is the person in charge, right? I forget whatever, the deputy registrar, the
Right.
registrar, or whatever. And so I think it should all be run through the clerk of council, because it is legislative, and that's, I think we don't have a mayor, so to say, unless you want to do it, or the only other person would be.
no, I don't think I should
the
do it,
attorney.
because I am one of the voting
Right.
members. So
So it's-
therefore, if you have the clerk or Mr. Lemon stepping in to do that, it'd be fine. She actually is here for the council,
Right.
so I believe that would be okay. To Mr. Lemon, do you have a template, a letter, anything that she can use if the person does not meet the requirements?
We can
And
develop
it needs to
one.
be sent to them immediately.
We can
Okay?
develop one.
Okay. The person whose application you have, would you pass that on to her so that we can have it in one place?
I
And
will.
not two people doing it?
Absolutely.
That'll give you a chance to work on the field.
Madam
Okay,
Chair.
Councilwoman, anyone over here? I gotta look this way now.
Okay, that's,
Okay, anyone over here, Ms. Baber?
that's okay. Get your
You okay?
network, get your network.
Okay? Yes, Ms.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, so if it's not, so if there has been, situations where Mr. Desai has had to respond, so should it be the clerk of council saying your, qualifications do not meet, or should it be Mr. Desai? I think personally it should be one of those two. So I just think we just need to
I think it should be the clerk, and then perhaps if that individual feels that the information is erroneous, then they can come before council. That's how I believe it should flow.
Okay, I'm fine with the clerk. I just-
Okay,
Yeah.
to the next part of this, we are at the point of voting. So what date do we use to end this process? To actually select that person?
It's got the
22nd
22nd, right?
council
22nd,
meeting?
On that
right?
second
At the council meeting on the 27th?
22nd.
Second.
I mean, 20 what?
Second.
22,
No, you
I'm
shouldn't
sorry, I'm
select
on
it
another
the-
planet.
I-
20
let me
Isn't that,
interrupt.
how you going to squeeze all that in?
If, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once we have the last, interview, whatever, then that's when we need to make a decision. So when they come that night, they get sworn in. We can't select them that night, right? We're already in a special council meeting for the purpose of selecting, to fill the vacant seat.
Then you're going beyond that meeting on the 22nd.
No. On the, let me see your calendar, right? We're saying,
If you have interviews 2 extra days,
right, we're gonna do
2
it on that
days.
Friday.
you're gonna do it on that Friday.
Right,
So when are you gonna make a decision on that person?
on that Friday. Because you have to,
We don't have time
No.
to digest. We got to
you wait
digest
to
it.
the council
That's a
meeting
little
to
tough,
do
though.
it.
You got to go to the first council meeting in February then.
Huh?
You have to go to the first
You do it on
council
that
meeting in
20 do it on
February.
That last Friday, right?
Only
That
if you
la-
have
that
2 people.
Last Monday
It-
meeting.
What is your pleasure, council? Help me out.
I would say if we're interviewing on the 18th and the 19th, give us time to look at the choices that we've had, and we're just making the assumption that we're going to have more than one. Let's make that assumption. If we only have one, then of course, like you said, the special council meeting will be based on selecting. Then we can make that selection. Then we're done. But if we have more than one, at least give it to the 22nd meeting. We can vote on it then, make that selection then. The swearing in can happen then as well. We have Mr. Desai here at that council meeting. So those things can still happen. I just don't want to force us into making a decision on the 19th when we have the 22nd when we can make the decision.
But on the 22nd, you're gonna have, I mean, who's gonna be here? All 15 of them?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, guys, come on now.
I mean, they're looking for.
I know, but what I'm saying is, so they come not knowing on that 22nd, and we vote for them, and then we don't notify them? I mean,
Right,
they're
but
just
the
here?
individuals who come on the 18th, I'm sorry, Madam
It's
Chair, are you
a-
okay?
yeah, resolve the issue,
Okay.
please.
The individuals who come on the 18th, they're not coming on the 19th.
Right, because we are still looking at them. So once that we finished on that Friday, we sit here till we decide who it's going to be, and then they're notified, you have been selected. You come Monday and be sworn in. For them to have 15 people sitting here waiting to say, oh,
But-
now we got to vote on them.
Let me ask a question here. If you have the people here, it's open public meeting, then we're gonna discuss who is what and vote on it?
You know, that with your voting,
Because that's what you're
Have
doing. That's
always
what you're saying, though.
gone
If you,
into executive session to do that. Oh, I mean, that's what we did. Now, we may have been wrong, but I'm just saying, even though they're here that night, at least you will make your decision. And then, because the other people on the 18th, you've got to give yourself time to do that.
Why?
I don't know.
Why
Just-
couldn't this just happen in February? The first meeting in February?
Huh?
Is that 60 days?
No, you mean the, no.
Think we
we
won't
have
be able to
until
set,
March.
30.
set committees.
Why not the first meeting in February?
I don't have
So
a
my
problem.
only two things, I'll forget. The one to your first question, my only pushback is that I think we still need to set our committees. And I think that's real important than what Mr. Lemon was talking about earlier. That's my only pushback to that. My second one, not necessarily pushback, I guess is question. I mean, if we have 15 people sitting in here, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, regardless if you get picked or not for the process. Now, you may not be happy, and we're just speaking in a perfect world right now. We're having a very optimistic scenario what we're talking about. But let's say, for instance, that those 15 individuals come in, they see the process, they may not get picked, but they can at least see what took place. I'd rather that be the inconvenience, if anything, versus us trying to rush the conversation that day and without kind of really digesting material over the weekend. That's just me.
I agree with you to a certain extent, Mr. Daniels. I think, though, let's think about this. I'm getting on council. It's my first time. I want my people here to see me, okay? Let's talk real world. So I agree with waiting till February to do that at that meeting, because it gives us time to decide whatever. to me, it's still rushed. If you trying to come up here on the 22nd and swear somebody in, vote them in, swear them in, and bam, it's no fanfare. You understand what I'm saying as a council person, as a new council person coming in. Now, we're used to it. We know that the first time we did it, we were all excited, da-da-da-da-da, proud parents, friends, and relatives. So, you know, talking about keeping it real, that's.
So I need a date. Are we going to do it in February? Are we going to do it on the 22nd?
Might need to
For the
vote on it.
22nd.
We might need to vote on it.
I don't know if we're gonna get a vote. I don't know if we're gonna get a vote.
I mean,
I
either
just
way.
think
I mean,
it's-
I'm
I
good.
think
I'm,
it's
yeah.
You just hold on for 1 minute. We're gonna let the solicitor address this.
Well, I just wanted to make a comment because I think everybody's made valid points. Mr. Daniels, very good point that the committees need to get up and running because a lot of the things that Mr. Lemon has mentioned require those committees. To your point,
Mr. Desai, can I jump in there for a minute? Why are the committees not working?
We got to have a mayor.
We don't need a
No, we
mayor
got a
for
new
committee.
council.
Oh,
yeah, we
said our
don't
committee.
technically have active committees because we
Right.
have a new council.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, Ms. Mitchell, we could, if council were of the mind to go ahead and try and select the person on January 22nd, I would, of course, administer the oath under Article 9. But we could do that again at a February meeting where they could invite, you know, all of their family members and friends in, and we can make it something where, you know, it is, you know, a bit of a ceremony. So there's no prohibition against us doing that again. So a valid point. I understand what you're saying, but I think we can accommodate both concerns.
So at the 22nd meeting, we'll make a decision and then bring them in on February the whatever? Okay. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. We could do the ceremony
As a-
again.
Okay.
Miss-
Mr. Lemon?
Mr. Desai, is there any provision under the Sunshine Law that would allow us to go into executive session to make that determination?
No.
might be the move.
Okay.
I'll take a look real quick, but I can't
Yeah.
think of anything that would
No,
allow
I think
it.
we
If
looked
that's
at it
the case,
before
then-
too.
Yeah.
I think what you're planning to do is appropriate, because I agree. I think having 15 or 16 people, or whatever the number may be, you know, having council go through all the discussions, and
Yeah.
then I think you'll have some frustrated people, and
Okay.
I don't think it would be a good show for us.
So we're looking at the 22nd for the decision-making. Executive session.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Monday, January the 22nd, decision-making time.
So residents, put in those applications.
And just to take off what Mr. Lemon's point was, Mr. Lemon, I'm sorry, I was starting to read something, I didn't catch the beginning of it. I caught would not be a good show for us. Could you repeat what you were saying?
No, what I was saying, I think it would be disheartening for applicants that are sitting there whose names are being debated and then not get selected. And so I think if there's a way council can make a decision as to who they wish to nominate, then it would be more celebratory to have the person here and then be sworn in with their family present, et cetera. So that's what I meant.
Okay?
Okay, the only thing though, those people would still all be here on the 22nd. So I think the concern you're expressing is still a concern.
Well, that's why I was asking about whether or not you could
Go
find
into
something under the Sunshine Law to go into executive session for those purposes. And I understand there probably isn't, but I just thought,
Yeah.
And that's my point. If, it just seems like we ought to be able to make this decision without
Okay.
Like I said, how many people we
publicly,
gonna have though?
Okay.
you know, it just seems like we ought to be able to make that decision and then come back and then notify. Thank you, just like any other thing. Thank you, and we'll notify you if you were selected. And so,
Okay, so we have set our dates here, and we're ready to move forward on them. Any more discussion? Thank everyone. Okay, so we know that we would have completed the process by June the
Just think it's-
22nd.
January.
Okay.
Just
January.
I mean, January. Where was I?
June.
I just,
I fast
personally, I
forward
just think it's a better fit if we did whatever we're going to do, that we do it where we have notified that individual and they know, and then they come either on the 22nd or the first meeting in February. There's got to be some kind of way we can work that out.
What?
Mayor, I'm
Yes.
sorry, Mr. Daniels, just real quick before I forget. We have 5 Mondays in January. So what if on the 22nd, instead of inviting all 15 people here, council makes their choice on the 22nd without inviting the candidates? And then on the 29th, the
Swear 'em
following
in.
Monday, you have a special council meeting,
Swear 'em in.
have that person swear in, and on the 29th, you then consider R4, which
So-
is the election of the mayor.
So we have to make that announcement tonight or anything of that nature? Because didn't we say that we were going to organize ourselves on the 22nd on January the 1st? Didn't we kind of make that announcement?
All we said was we were going to defer the R4 mayor resolution to 8:30 on the 22nd, but we could kick that again 1 week. And it just seems to me that might accommodate all the valid concerns I've heard tonight, which are, we don't want to delay this. We don't want to embarrass people. We want to give people the person an opportunity who gets selected to have a ceremony with their family and friends. So the only thing that changes with everything we've talked about, the only thing that would change is we would kick R4 from the 22nd to the 29th.
Makes sense to me.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I think that makes a lot of sense because by them getting sworn in, they'll be able to, go over and get a little, bring themselves reading some minutes and stuff. So when they do come back a week later, they won't be like a deer in headlights. You know what I'm saying? They'll be able to, to look at the different views of the council members that want to be a mayor, and then they'll make their own form of, their own opinion based on what they've read and what they've seen, because it is televised. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to use the 29th
Right, the 29th will be the meeting, will be a special meeting
for swearing in?
for swearing in, and then also for R4, election of the mayor. So, Ms. Randolph, I'll follow up with you tomorrow, but we're going to have 3 special meeting notices, one for the 18th,
The 19th
19th,
and the
the
29th.
29th, and we'll make sure we get the wording for the purpose of those correct, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Madam Chair,
yes.
can I just kind of recap and then you can let me know if the dates are correct or not? I have
Well,
the start date for the vacancy seat.
We can do that outside of the
Okay.
meeting.
All
Okay.
right.
If we make a mistake, then send it out. Someone will correct it.
Okay.
Okay, so we
Thank
can
you.
move on. Couple more things that I needed to talk about that must happen or should happen this month and February would be the land usage plan that I completely forgot to talk about, and that is we need to send it to the Planning Commission. It needs to be approved and sent to us, and then we need to get a piece of legislation to vote on it. Okay, so I have the chair's packet in my hallway that needs to be picked up. Mr. Hodge is still on that committee, and he needs a packet. So when can you pick that up? Well, it's not printed now. No, it's not. It's a notebook. Councilwoman Key presented that information to us, and we haven't done anything with it. So that must happen, and the reason why we need that to happen, please explain, Mr. Lemon.
Well, in order to attract businesses and people to the community for the community reinvestment area and TIF and other things of that nature, people need to understand what they can do and what they can't do with their property, which is determined by zoning. And so the land use plan determines what that zoning will be on the individual pieces of property within the community. So we need that land use plan to facilitate some of these programs that we're undertaking to bring new people and new revenue into the community.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Key. Do you have anything you want to say about that?
No, Vice Mayor, other than it's been referred to Planning Commission, and I'm happy to go to Planning Commission meeting when those meetings are set to transfer any knowledge that I can. And hopefully from the meetings that we had when we had combined meetings was helpful as well. But I concur that we are in a position where we're ready to move that forward. Thank you.
Mondays are open now because we have, well, some Mondays are, where the committee meetings have been suspended until we have someone in this seat as mayor.
Did you say the committee meetings have been suspended?
Yeah, no one
but-
wanted, as they said a few minutes ago, was that we don't have a mayor, so the committees don't meet.
But
I think they should meet, but that's me.
we're not gonna have a finance meeting Monday?
I don't know.
I
Question.
mean, because we don't have a mayor, but we do have a vice mayor, and it is not a condition of the meeting of the committees that the mayor be there. So until the changes have been made and new appointments, shouldn't we still be meeting? I mean, Mr. Lemon just mentioned gave information that all the committees need to be looking at. Madam Chair, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Mr. Desai, is there something that stops us from meeting because the committees have not been appointed? I mean, the committees we still have to carry on business.
You
I
still have
guess
to
that's
carry
my
on
point.
business, and
And
once,
then when they change, the
Yeah.
committees may change when the mayor comes, but we have to continue business.
well, that was my thinking, is that the meeting should still go on. Now, we did not do law and economic development this month, but we still have safety and finance. So what are you saying about the finance committee meeting?
Or any of the meetings, I mean.
So under 38.141B as in ball, the standing committee shall be appointed for a term of 2 years. So, and composed of 3 or 4 or 5 members. All matters pending committees at the end of the 2-year term shall be turned over to the successor committee. So technically, as we've been mentioning here, we do not have standing committees. That being said, if members of council want to get together to discuss finance, economic development, etc., there's no prohibition against doing that. The only thing that I would ask, because technically the terms are over, is to just ask Ms. Randolph to post notice of those meetings. Let's just make sure we, take a belt and suspender approach with it, okay? Nothing needs to change. You can still meet on the same day, the same time, the same place. But let's just go ahead and get notice out there so that there's no question about anyone being confused that meetings about finance, meetings about economic development, meetings about recreation, about law, about safety will be taking place, okay?
So what type of meeting would this be advertised as?
I would just, if you want to, you can just do it as a special meeting.
Special council meeting?
Yeah, just do it as a special
But
council meeting.
everyone is not going to be in attendance at,
And what would what would you need a quorum
Yeah.
for? What would be the threshold for a quorum?
Typically with council, it's 4. And I suspect the ones that are of greatest immediate concern, not that all of them are not of concern, but from what I'm hearing from Mr. Lemon and his plans is like to have an economic development meeting. So if we can get 4 members to
Finance.
commit to that. How many council members do you usually have, Ms. Key?
5.
5, okay. So that one in theory shouldn't be a problem. And then finance, Ms. Mitchell? usually have 5. So
I was
perhaps
also-
it's not all of them that are going to meet in this sort of limbo state that we're in. But if you have a finance meeting that you'd like to move forward with a week from today, I think if you notice it, that council is going to have a special meeting to consider financial matters regarding the village, and you have 4 more members show up, you can go ahead and have that meeting. There's nothing that prohibits council from meeting to do that.
But you're not gonna call the finance committee meeting,
I
you're
would-
just gonna call it a meeting.
A meeting about the financial
Yeah, the
affairs of
special
the
meeting, the
village.
purpose of the
Special
meeting
meeting.
would be finance, finance.
Mr.
discussion.
Daniels?
So I just want to, so if we do it, we're going to do it on the 16th of Tuesday after Martin Luther King Day. So that's when you would technically,
Well, I guess we would say Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah,
Tuesday?
special
Okay.
meeting, yeah,
Okay.
Okay, special meeting on Tuesday,
for Tuesday.
okay. All right. And I think that's it for the month of January. Safety does not need to meet. You know, we're good. Okay. All right, so can we move along? Yes.
6:30.
Finance meeting will be at 5:30, 6:30.
We can
Question?
make it 5:30 if you,
5:30.
since you're not meeting. Is that okay? I mean, or 6 o'clock better, what?
And it doesn't matter as long as 5 of us, 4 or 5 of us show up. Okay. It has nothing to do with who sits on that committee. It has to do with people showing up. So we need 5 folks to show up on that day so we can look at the finances and talk about it, okay?
We need 5 or 4? 4.
4.
Yeah.
So this is January
I just said
15th,
5 people show
16.
up.
16th?
Are we doing anything
Tuesday.
Martin Luther King Day here? I guess not.
5
yeah.
people show up on a Tuesday, please, 5,
January 16th at 5 p.m.?
5:30,
5:30.
okay? New business. Oh, is there any old business? I'm sorry, number 9. Any old business? New business? Resolution 2024-R-4, what is your pleasure?
Motion to hear by title only.
Motion to hear by title only, is there a second?
Second.
Been moved in second, which is Key and Mumphrey.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. That motion does pass. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio. Resolution number 2024-R-4. Resolution appointing Deborah K. Brown Gaines, Magistrate of the Mayor's Court pursuant to Section 1905.05 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Motion to suspend?
So moved.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. That motion does pass.
Motion to receive for passage.
Second.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. That motion does pass.
Motion to accept the emergency clause.
Oh, yeah, I did that. I messed that up last time. Yeah, she motioned. I'll second it. I'm sorry, I messed up
Who
last
motioned?
time.
Wait, I thought
Miss
Ms. Key did.
Baber just motioned it, and then I seconded.
Okay.
Okay, Baber
Been
and
moved in second?
Yeah, I messed it up
Baber
last time.
and Daniels.
Daniels.
Roll call,
Count-
please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Okay. Resolution number 2024-R-5, first reading.
Motion to hear by title only.
Wait,
Second.
wait.
Who motion?
Wait.
Was it Key?
Yes.
And second by who?
Favor.
Councilwoman Baber. Wait,
I motion. When I said motion to hear by title only, that's the motion.
okay. So
We
it
are
was moved
resolved.
by Councilwoman Key and second by Councilwoman Baber. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. That motion does pass.
Motion to suspend the rules.
I have to read by title.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We are ready to go. Okay, I'm gonna read it by title. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio. Resolution number 2024-4-R-5. Resolution authorizing Linda Childs Jeter as a signer on the First Financial Bank National Association account connected with a general fund account for the Village of Lincoln Heights.
Motion to suspend the rules.
So move.
Second. Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Key, second by Councilman Daniels.
Council,
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. That motion does pass.
Motion
to
for
receive.
passes.
So move.
Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Key, second by Councilman Daniels.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Motion for the emergency clause.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Key, second by Daniels. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Thank you. Okay, moving to the supplemental agenda. First reading of resolution number 2024-R-6.
Motion to hear by title only.
Second. No, motion, so moved. So moved.
Okay, let's start this over again.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
'Cause I had
okay.
I'm sorry, quick
Motion.
just quick question real quick. I'm sorry, before we get that motion, I just want to make sure I'm clear. We're doing a supplemental agenda. If I'm not tripping, that's when we get everything in one. Okay, all right, thank you.
No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
That's not
Okay,
consent.
2024-R-6. The motion is, who motioned?
Key.
Key?
Yeah.
Who second?
I'll second.
Okay, Daniels. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. That motion does pass. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2024-R-6. Resolution authorizing Linda Childs Jeter as a signer on the First Financial Bank National Association account connected with the Mayor's Court for the Village of Lincoln Heights. I thought I had read this before, but it's different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Threw me off.
Motion
Okay.
to suspend
Go.
the rules.
Key, who's second?
Second.
Baber. Been moved and, moved by Councilwoman Key, second by Councilwoman Baber. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Passage, please.
Motion.
Second.
Daniels. Been moved by Councilwoman Key, second by Councilman Daniels. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion passes.
Motion.
Emergency clause, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Key and second by Kinsey Mumphrey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Okay, thank you. First reading of resolution number 2024-R-7.
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Daniels, second by Councilwoman Kinsey Mumphrey.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 5 aye votes, 1 abstention. The motion does pass.
Suspend the rules.
I-
Motion.
No, I have to
Oh, I'm
read
sorry.
it. Doing a first reading, right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2024-R-7, resolution authorizing a one-time bonus payment for full-time employees.
Yes. You can always make a comment.
I had previously mentioned perhaps going into executive session. These are not matters of emergency. I'm happy to go into discuss, but I do want to recognize the late hour. So if council does not want to go into executive session, we can do it at the next meeting.
I'm for not going into executive session.
We're not going to
It
executive
is late.
session.
We had a lot of discussion today, okay? All right, so any miscellaneous business?
Just real quick, if you don't mind,
Yes.
Madam Vice Mayor, just because Mr. Morris Hodge is here, and this is just something I wanted to make sure just on the public record, because I haven't had a chance to see him in person, but this is just, you know, if you ever see Mr. Morris Hodge break a stone, it's one of the most inspiring things you ever watch. It's not the fact that he breaks the stone, it's the prep work and chipping away that nobody sees that allows him to make that striking blow that is able to shape the stone to his liking. So just why I thought that was important, I'm glad you kind of just came here today. It's just always about that chipping away and the prep work. I know it's not always fun and cool what we do, but seeing Mr. Hodge up at 7 o'clock in the morning building that thing and really working that stone always puts things in perspective. So I definitely appreciate you, Mr. Hodge.
Anyone else? I appreciate you too.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys do.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
normally at this time of year, we have legislation before you to go to the auditor for advances so that we can improve our cash flow as well as earn potential interest by all the tax settlements in January. And I don't know if we can do this at the moment, but is it possible to do it by motion to
You want
approve?
to do the drawdown?
Hmm?
You want to do the drawdown? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Give me 1 second.
I don't have any room on my paper to write, but it's okay.
Yeah.
He'll give you an answer in a minute.
It's something we do on an annual basis.
Okay. Mr. Hodge, while we're waiting, you can stop by tomorrow and get your copy of the land usage. See Miss Lisa in the day. Is that okay? You have one for him now? Okay. After the meeting, you can pick it up, Seth.
Can I get a
Okay, and I also need to look to see who else is on your committee and make sure they get copies.
Do it by a certain time. You have to do it by a certain time.
Doing pretty good. It was bothering me yesterday because I was up on it. Like, I got a little Charlie horse, but yeah, it's not swelling. How you feeling?
So, Mr. Desai, so we, I think in the past, we have usually done that around February.
In 2022.
First meeting?
In December was done, okay.
Did in December.
So according to my electronic records, and these are just the Word drafts, the last time the village did this was in 2016.
Oh, no.
Been that long?
That's when I
like I've been
type
part
in
of one.
drawdown,
Well, I
the
think-
most recent resolution I pull up is 016. And I do remember this conversation recently, and I was told that we did not need to do that. So I don't know that we have done this every year, but when Sharon Willis was the finance director, we did do it every year. To answer the more immediate question of can we do it by motion, we can. What I'd like to do, if it's okay, is I'd like to state what the motion should be and then have somebody say motion.
So that's fine. I just know that as finance chair, we've done it under Donna as well, and I know we did it
We did it in
last
2022.
year too, so.
Yeah.
But you just give me the motion and we'll do
Yeah.
it. Okay.
016, again, my records are not the official records. Mine are
Oh,
just the
okay.
drafts. So it's possible that it may have been drafted in-house and presented to council, which is sometimes done. But in any event, we can do it.
I have the legislation if you want to search by the legislation number. Would that be helpful or no?
That's not for 24.
It's for 2022.
Yeah, I've got the one for
R85.
016. I imagine in section 1 it says the auditor and treasurer of Hamilton County in accordance with revised code 321.34, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just a repeat legislation. So let's go ahead and the motion should be, I hereby move for the auditor and the treasurer of Hamilton County, in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 321.34, are requested to draw and pay the account of the Village of Lincoln Heights upon the written request of John Key, comma, Finance Director, and/or Mike Lemon, comma, Village Interim Manager, to the County Auditor, funds due in any settlement for 2023 derived from taxes or other sources payable to the county treasurer and lawfully applicable for purposes of the village.
Motion.
Second.
You lost us on that numbers, Deepak. I wasn't even gonna lie. Everybody tried to write there. You said the numbers there.
It's been moved and second by Council.
more simply than
All right. It's
Sorry.
been moved and second by Councilman Daniels, second by
Data's wrong.
Vice Mayor Charles Jeter. Any questions? Any questions? And I know I haven't used that tonight. If not, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell, Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion does pass.
You had to go through all of them.
Did we get everybody?
Yes. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber, aye.
Is there anybody that did not vote on that?
Was it me?
No, everyone said aye. I got Councilwoman Phyllis Baber, Vice Mayor Linda Giles Jeter, aye. Councilman Durant Daniels, aye. Councilwoman Tanya Key, aye. Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell, aye. And Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumfree, aye. I just misspoke, but I do have 6 aye votes.
So we're gonna go through all of them?
We don't have to, but.
Just one?
Vice Mayor, I think Ms. Key had a comment or question.
Oh, no, I just wanted to point it out to you, the date, to make sure that we had the right year. Just because I'm looking at this one, it was a resolution that was done in December of '22, and it gave the next year, and it gave 2023. And I think in your motion,
I said 22. Well, wouldn't we be drawing down taxes from last year, Mr. Lemon?
he
Well,
said 23.
it's taxes for 2023 that are received in 2024,
Yeah.
So it's at,
or in possession by the
Are
auditor
we
in
amend-
2024.
are we amending that motion to?
So I
to
did
change
say-
the date?
I did say 23.
Okay.
Funds due in any settlements. Oh, I got you. The settlement is for
24,
but
yes,
it's
sir.
for taxes from 23.
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
So we asking for any money that they got that they can get.
I just wanted just to.
No, that's
So you have to,
no, that's a good point. So the
are you
current
amending that, or what are you doing? Do we have to?
well, we're gonna have to do something to pick up 24. So since the motion's already passed, why don't we just restate the motion? And Ms. Key,
You can.
you've got it there. If you restate it and just make sure you say 2024 in any settlement for 2024.
The way it's written and add Mr. Lemon's name as the interim manager,
Right,
right?
and Mr. Key is do you feel comfortable making it with Mr. Key being added as the finance director?
For that, yes, because it doesn't benefit him.
Okay.
You want me to state it?
Yeah, go ahead and do the motion.
Okay, we motion that the auditor and the treasurer of Hamilton County, in accordance to the Ohio Revised Code, section 321.34, are requested to draw and pay the account of the Village of Lincoln Heights upon the written request of John Key, Finance Director, and interim Village Manager Mike Lemon, to the county auditor, funds due in any settlement for 2024 derived from taxes or other sources payable to the county treasurer and lawfully applicable for purposes of the village. Okay.
Second. Oh.
I just did okay.
Okay. Moved by Councilwoman Key and second by Councilwoman Kinsey Mumfree.
So you want me to do the roll again? Yes. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell, Councilwoman Ruby Kinsey Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. The motion does pass.
As far as we have to go with that.
We're good.
The only thing is that the resolution does need to be certified for purposes of giving it to Mr. Key and Mr. Lemon.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Lemon, do you have anything else that just pops up?
I would like to thank council and Mr. Desai for undertaking this motion at the last moment. Thank you very much.
We want to thank you for your service, and to everyone that's sitting around here and who's here, I want to thank you for tonight's very productive business meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Baber, I'm waiting on you.
Waiting on me for what?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
The motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Baber, second by Councilman Daniels. All in favor, please say aye and go home.
Watch this game.